Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Levi Clay here, and I am back again to bring you another year of gear video. This time, transporting ourselves way back, 31 years actually, because it seems Fender have decided to re-release the Fender HM Strat, or more commonly known as the Heavy Metal Strat. So this is, well, I was going to say an absolutely iconic guitar. I don't think this guitar really caught on when it was initially released in 1988. It was available to around 1992. Because of the popularity and the rise of the shred movement. Well, I say the rise, as you well know, around 1992, that's where things really started to die off. So Fender a little bit late to the party on this one, if you like. But yeah, Fender absolutely did release, or at least attempt to release, their equivalent, their competition for all of the high-end shred guitars that were available on the market. You know, the Jackson guitars of the time, the Ibanez guitars of the time. So, before looking at the new HM Strat, why don't we talk very briefly about the original HM Strat and the main reason that people would be potentially excited about this? Because in my mind, the only one name that I can really think of that is overly associated with this particular model, or certainly was in his early career, is the amazing Mr. Greg Howe. Now, if you look at some of Greg Howe's earliest albums, probably most notably Introspection, what you will see on the cover of that is a Fender HM Strat. And as you all know, it's incredibly common to look up to and idolize guitars that are played by your heroes. So looking at the record cover, when you would have that, the vinyl, you'd look at the vinyl record sleeve to Introspection, and you would see that guitar there, and it's impossible to stare at a guitar like that and not, really kind of crave one. So Greg, if you are unfamiliar with his playing, unbelievable modern fusion jazz shred guy. But it's worth mentioning his early work was definitely a lot more neoclassical in nature. There was certainly a period where he was trying to be the next Eddie Van Halen. In fact, why don't I cut in a few clips? Here's a clip of the song High Gear from his band Howe. And as you'll see in the video from this, excuse the low resolution, he is, of course, playing a pink Fender HM Strat. So pretty cool playing. Check it out. And of course, he has a Hot Licks video available, or at least he did have a Hot Licks video available, on which he is playing a Fender HM Strat. So, you can find most of this on YouTube. So here's a little clip. Check it out. Now that really tells us everything about where the HM Strat came from, but let's talk about where it is now, and even if it has a place on the market. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up Fender's website for you, and what we can see here is the limited edition HM Strat. So available in 4 different colours. There is the quite catching flash pink, which I do actually quite enjoy. There's an ice blue available. There is your classic white, and there's also this frozen yellow. Now, to be completely honest, of all of those colours, the yellow is the one that I like the least. So if we go to, I was going to say iconic, the iconic pink one, I'd certainly see this guitar and immediately think Greg Howe. This, if we take a look at this up close, is the Fender HM Strat. So immediately eye-catching design with the Strat painted across the black headstock. But aside from that, it's your classic, 80s era super Strat, literally super Strat. We have a Floyd Rose on the body, 24 frets, which of course Fender aren't particularly known for. Some wiring options, HSS pickup configuration. Maybe something that you would be interested in. Some people think these are quite cool guitars. We will talk about what I think about them in a second. So price-wise, we're looking at about £1,140, which is probably, about $1,800 maybe? That's a total guess. Available with a basswood body, custom high-gain pickups, maple neck with maple or rosewood fingerboard, depending on the finish. But you'll notice this one is maple, whereas if you go for that blue, this comes with a rosewood fingerboard. So 1-inch scale with 17-inch radius and 24 jumbo frets. So fair enough. Floyd Rose special tremolo system. Yep, we would expect Floyd Rose on something like this. So it's custom high gain pickups, the custom C profile neck. So yeah, the coil split, etc., etc. I think this is all very much what you would expect out of this particular instrument. And then we get onto my, actual thoughts on this as an offering. I can see why Fender released this back in the day. They absolutely needed to compete with the other brands on the market that were offering these more shred orientated instruments, which was becoming very popular at the time. Fender were probably quite late to the party with this, and I feel that a reissue now, of course, is nothing but nostalgia. If you've never had the opportunity to play or own a heavy metal Strat, I question if you would want one of these new limited edition HM Strats, or if you would try and seek out one of the original run HM Strats. But I guess it's impossible for me to say either way where you would fall on that. My thoughts on it, though, are while this was dated back then, it's even more dated now. I think now we're in a place where it's very easy to buy, HM style Strats, a modern Super Strat style guitar. Fender actually offer plenty of things that you would deem to be limited shred guitars. So of course they own Charvel. There's tons and tons of guitars that are all under that Fender banner. That Jackson, for example, right? You can buy a Jackson and that is, for all intents and purposes, under that same Fender banner. So are they offering something particularly unique here? I don't think so, but it is kind of a nice nostalgia trip. But ultimately, this really comes down to what you guys think. What do you think about the Fender HM Strat? Do you think there's a place for this? Do you think it is priced right? The price is definitely up for debate. It's very hard to say where this falls without actually having the chance to play them and get a feel for the components that are in the actual instrument. But yeah, as always, be very interested to know your comments, so please do let me know in that comments section down below. Lastly, say a huge thank you to my supporters over on Patreon for bringing you these videos. So thanks guys, you rock. And if you would like to check me out on Patreon, you can do so by clicking the link in the description, or much easier, there's a button on screen here that you can click. You can subscribe by clicking this button down here, and you will see 2 more videos. Why don't we make them Greg Howe videos? Because although this is a Fender HM Strat video, it's very much a chance to talk about Greg Howe and some of his cool playing. So go and check Greg's playing out. Of course, he doesn't even play Fender anymore, so well done Fender for sort of capitalising on an artist that doesn't play your instruments. Anyway, guys, much love. Thank you so much for your kindness and support, and I will see you for another video soon. Laters.